Hi guys, hope everyone's well and welcome back to the education section. So today I'm going to touch on creatine. Pretty much everything you need to know regarding creatine, supplementation, the benefits, what dosage you should have it off if you need to cycle on and off, and some common misconceptions alongside that. So first of all, what is creatine? So creatine is pretty much a molecule that we produce in our body from different amino acids. So basically things we get from protein produce creatine in our body, and it helps regulate something called ATP. So basically ATP is our short-term source of energy. That's our kind of primarily our kind of best source of energy in kind of short-term kind of resistance training or sprinting, etc. That sort of exercise. So when we kind of use up ATP, or in other words, when we use up energy, we then have ADP instead of ATP plus 2 phosphate bonds. So basically, when we have creatine, what it basically does is give us more short-term energy, to put it simple. And we've got a short-term supply of it. That's why creatine is beneficial, because we've not got like unlimited short-term energy, which is why you kind as well as other kind of factors in regards to fatigue accumulating and blood kind of being accumulated in the muscle. That's why you like fatigue during resistance training. So if we can increase the body's supply of ATP, then we can increase how well we can perform. And creatine basically does that. It means we've got more energy for our workouts, it takes longer for us to fatigue, and overall we can perform better. And it's particularly relevant during like high energy usage exercise, so like intense physical activity. So like if you're doing like a long distance running, it's not going to quite be as useful because we're not kind of tapping into our ATP as much. We've got kind of a longer term energy source there, and it's found in like different foods like meat, fish. However, it's hard to get enough from these sources, which is why supplementing with creatine is very beneficial. Because if we want to kind of get enough creatine to kind of have appropriate level, we need to be eating around 5 to 10 pounds of beef, which is obviously a lot, which is 2.5 to around about 5 kilos. And obviously with your creatine, which I'll get to, you basically need to saturate your creatine source. So you'd need to have that on a very, very consistent basis to even maintain your creatine source, which isn't feasible for 99% of individuals unless they absolutely love beef and they've got a lot of money to spend on it. So creatine, the benefits are basically, it's one of the most researched and well kind of known supplements out there on the market, and it's got many benefits, including basically anaerobic exercise. So exercise where you're not really like kind of a good way to look at it is when you're doing, let's say, short-term bursts of kind of exercise. So things like weight training and sprinting, like I said earlier, and it can help your ability to kind of build muscle mass as a result of the increase in performance you can have. And that's obviously when it's paired to resistance training. You can't just kind of have creatine sit on your couch and expect to build muscle. It doesn't work like that. And there's potentially a small improvement in even like aerobic exercise, so things like your running capacity, your running performance, potentially. Some studies show kind of like a mixed kind of view on this, but there's some potential benefit there. And reduce mental fatigue in like high stress circumstances. So if, let's say, you've got like a high training stress at the moment, or just high stress in terms of your life outside the gym, it can potentially help with that and reduce mental fatigue. So it's got like a cognitive kind of benefit as well, so a mental benefit. And as a result, it can also improve memory, specifically of people with low creatine. So like elderly individuals, and also like vegetarians in particular, it's going to be really hard for them to get enough creatine in their diet. So it becomes even more important that they to consider supplementing with creatine for those individuals. And it can act as a mild GDA, which is a glucose disposal agent. Basically, what that basically means is it can help you dispose glucose. It can help you utilize carbohydrates more effectively. And as for creatine dosages, for creatine monohydrate, 5 grams daily is plenty. You can kind of be really, really specific and try and get away with less. It's a really cheap supplement, so I don't really think there's much need to be honest. I think just take 5 grams on a consistent basis. The amount of muscle tissue you have can kind of influence how much you need. So if someone who's like really heavily muscled, Let's say like a bodybuilder, for example, who's got an absolute ton of muscle. They might need more creatine than myself, or an individual who's not got a lot of muscle at all. So it kind of depends on the individual how much you need. However, 5 grams is going to be sufficient for most individuals. Technically, the maintenance dosage is at least 0.03 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is, I think, round about for myself. If I'm around 8 kilos, I believe I worked out it was around 3 grams a day to maintain that. And some people with like a lot of muscle mass, or like I said, or non-responders, people sometimes maybe need more creatine than 5 grams to kind of feel a benefit from it. Those people are very far and few, but you could always play about with it. And it's truly going to be kind of hard to see or to find out, because the benefit of creatine, it's consistent, it's kind of well researched and shown to be effective, but it's also a very, very marginal increase. Saying that, if you've got a very, very marginal increase, you take that over years, maybe the results can compound quite significantly. And it is very cheap, so to be on the safe side, I just think take 5 grams daily. What's the worst that can happen? There's no really side effects from doing so. And make sure you're kind of having it alongside plenty of fluid. So the reason being is it can cause some potential digestive issues if you either take large dosages. Let's say you take 20 grams at once or 25 grams at once, or you don't drink it with a lot of water. So just make sure you're diluting it with plenty of water. And do you need to load creatine? Something I hear a lot of people ask. Some people or some supplement companies say you should load it on kind of the packaging. So basically, we have creatine stores, which we can kind of store. We store creatine pretty much in our muscle cells. And to saturate our creatine stores quicker, we can take more than 5 grams on a daily basis to reach kind of peak saturation, peak levels of creatine. So if we want to do so, you'd need to have 0.3 grams per kilogram of body weight for around about a week, which works out for someone 8 kilos, around about 25 grams daily. So the problem can occur here is you can run into digestive issues quite easily if you have quite a lot in one serving. So as a result, you can potentially try splitting maybe that 5 grams up throughout the day, or just take 5 grams and within the month you'll kind of reach peak dosages. And in the grand scheme of things, like, people maybe want to kind of experience the benefit immediately. They want to get to peak dosage immediately, which I can appreciate. You want to make as much progress as possible potentially. But at the same time, with creatine, if you're taking it over, let's say, 10 years and you're training in the gym, then that 1 month where you're not kind of at peak dosage, or you're not saturated your creatine source, doesn't really matter an awful lot. But it's up to you how you want to do it. You can kind of try and load a bit quicker and then go back to maintenance dosage. You don't need as much to kind of maintain it, as I said. So you can go down to the 0.03 grams or just take 5 grams daily. But the amount of time you'll spend taking creatine doesn't make much difference. And as for timing of creatine, so due to storing it as phosphocreatine intramuscularly for the most part, the timing doesn't matter, meaning when you kind of have it doesn't matter. It's not like you get like an immediate effect on it, like carbohydrates potentially, because we can store it in our body. And one study did indicate that increase in lean mass on type 2 muscle fibre size, which is kind of the muscle fibres that are more responsive to muscle growth, strength and intramuscular glycogen, or basically storing carbs in our muscles, improved taking it around the workout rather than away from the workout. However, this is one study. Many others shown no difference at all really, and there's not really much evidence saying that you need to have it around your session. The way I look at it is, if I take it during my session, it's an easy time for me to remember, so that's when I choose to take it. And then on rest days, I'll take it first thing in the morning, or non-training days. And if you do get any digestive issues from it, then what you can consider is, again, are you kind of having it with plenty of water? If sometimes it does cause you maybe a wee bit of bloating or doesn't feel amazing, then you might not want to have it during your session. And you might want to have it, let's say, with or after a meal. That might sit better with yourself. Or split it up so you're having like 2.5 grams or 5 grams spread out the day 2 times. You can try that. Thanks very much for watching. The full video is available for my online coaching clients in the Coach by Charlie education section. If you're interested in online coaching, then feel free to apply via the link in the description. If you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe and ring the notification bell for my future videos. Thank you very much for watching.